what can we do about climate change?
What can we do about climate change? Well, we know that the climate's changing because we're putting greenhouse gases in the air, the stuff that traps the heat the Earth radiates up to space, especially carbon dioxide because it stays in the air so long. So what we can do is stop emitting carbon dioxide into the air. And the New Zealand government have committed to this. They want to be carbon zero, carbon neutral by 2050, which is a fantastic goal. If every country in the world could do that, we wouldn't see more than another degree of warming. That's pretty clear from the science. So what we can do is find ways to live our lives so that we emit less carbon dioxide especially, but greenhouse gas, methane, whatever. And that means lower carbon forms of transport and lower carbon forms of energy production. So that means instead of having a car that's powered by petrol, have a car that's electric and ultimately powered by solar panels, because electricity production in New Zealand has become completely 100% renewable. We're already 80% of the way there. More wind farms, more solar farms, and so on. And we could be, as a country at least, completely renewably powered. There are certainly other things we'd have to do. You know, agriculture contributes to our emissions really significantly here in New Zealand. Methane that sheep and cows burp out basically is one of the main issues. Methane's not such a problem because it only stays in the air for 10 or 12 years or so. It would still be great to reduce it, but it's not such an urgent problem. So we know basically what we need to do. Find ways to produce energy through not burning fossil fuels. This is the big issue. So, you know, solar panels, wind farms, there's lots of ways, use tidal power, there's lots of energy in the climate. You know, if we could capture even an hour's worth of sunlight shining on the Earth, that would power the globe for a year or more. So it's not as though there's a shortage of energy out there, it's just finding ways to use it. So moving to renewable energy, planting lots of trees is a really cool thing to do in the short term, because trees, as they grow, plants as they grow, soak up carbon dioxide. So that would buy us a bit of time at the very least. It's not an ultimate solution, because even if you covered the world in trees and did nothing else, then there'd be a temporary decrease in concentrations of carbon dioxide and so on in the air, but then they'd start going up again. But still, buys us a bit of time. So moving towards, essentially it has to be a sustainable, the so-called circular economy, the idea that we can just grow and grow and grow forever. Ultimately there are going to be limits. There's only so many acres of land on the earth, only so many square metres, and you can't have people covering everything. That just wouldn't work. So we have to find ways to live within our means, and that means sustainable production of food, a sustainable, stable global population. The population of the world's increased hugely, exponentially in the last few hundred years, and the projections say that is going to stop, but you know, it does have to stop at some point, hopefully fairly soon. So we know how to live more sustainably. We already know the technologies to produce energy renewably through solar panels and so on. We just need to get on and actually do it. So the message is, we're not doomed. We're not all going to die in a few years or anything like that. But we do need to take action. We know that if we don't rein the emissions in within the next 20 years or so, we're going to get a lot of warming, and these events in the Antarctic and so on are going to be triggered, and we'll get lots of sea level rise and so on. So we know what to do. We can take action. If we start right now, we can totally get on top of this problem by the middle of the century and make the future much better for everybody.